Welcome to practice. I'm Donna Cavanough, and we're going to begin our practice today standing with feet under the hips and feet parallel. Standing tall and taking some deep breaths. And check in with your lower back. Does it feel like it curves forward substantially? Maybe the belly spills forward a little. If that's the case for you, lift the belly a little more so your lower back feels nice and long. And how about your upper back? Does it round out a little bit behind you? Pressing the bones of the spine forward. So you feel really spacious in your ribs. When you breathe, it feels very satisfying. Roll your upper arms out, palms in, and reach the front of the body up, top of the head up, and relax the shoulder blades. And feel your feet. The understanding in your feet of the floor, the solidity of the building, the foundation, the earth. And feeling the flow of that satisfying breath. This is feet hip width, Tadasana. Good, and then bend your knees slightly and let yourself be nice and loose and empty sleeve. Borrowing this beautiful pose from Tai Chi. And really let your shoulders be relaxed. Feel the work in the upper body, the ribs. And tuning into your satisfying breath. Lovely. Beautiful side to side movement. Good, and come back to center. And we're going to keep that nice loose feeling in the joints and floppy arms up. And then take a forward bend and floppy arms up beside you and up towards the sky. Inhaling up and forward. And we're going to do that and keeping the joints nice and loose. And you can add in, when you lift up onto your tiptoes as well. Which is not always easy to do. Nice and soft in the joint. Feeling that lovely big intake of breath and exhale. And back to standing. Again, feeling your feet, finding your Tadasana body, your lift in the front body, relaxed shoulders, upper arms rolling out. And enjoying that spacious breath in the ribs and lungs. All right, we're going to lift up onto tiptoes and holding. And lower down slowly. Good. Let's try doing that on one leg. So we're going to balance on the left leg and lift up onto just the skin of the tiptoes of the right foot. So they're there for your balance. But you're going to lift up now onto the ball of just the left foot. Oh. And then try to lower down slowly. Keep going, lift up again. Just keep lifting and dropping down as slowly as you can, trying to hold your balance. Why is this so hard? Okay, great. And then we'll do the other side. So both feet grounded, and then lift up onto the skin of your left foot and lift up onto the ball of the right foot. And lower down slowly. even try lifting your left foot all the way off the floor. Whoa, too hard on the balance. Not there yet. Feet under the hips again, Tadasana. Great. We're going to just lean from side to side. And you're going to make that movement in a way that just feels really good for your spine, your back, the side core of the body. Make sure you're using the core body, the front, lower abdomen, the sides of the waist, the pelvic floor, so that your back feels really supported. Lovely. And you can add in your arm. So when you are leaning to your left, take your right arm by your right ear. It's a little bit heavier now, so the core has to work a little bit harder. When you're leaning to your right, take your left arm by your left ear. Good. Keep that focus on the core body. And back to center. Nice work. Let's step the feet out a little bit wider. So probably a little bit wider than, say, a yoga mat is wide. Feet are hip width and parallel. Let's do the same thing. Just lean at first. We won't add the arms in. Just to make sure that the core body is really working to support the spine here. And then once you know that's happening, you can try adding in the arms. So you might feel with the legs wider, got to work a little harder on that internal lift of the pelvic floor. Good, back to center. Let's go even wider. So sort of like a trikonasana, foot distance. All right, and then let's just do it without the arms, but the leaning, so you're finding your stretch. And we stay focused on using the core body, lifting the pelvic floor. Good. When you know your back is supported in this action, add in your arms. So you feel that lovely stability that comes from core awareness. One more each side. Nicely done. So we're going to use that awareness in some standing poses. And our feet are already out here. So let's just turn the right foot out to 90 degrees. And you line up your right heel with the center of your left foot in an arch. Great. And we're going to have straight legs for Trikonasana. Lifting the quadriceps here. The front of the hips lining up towards the long edge of your mat. And really lifting the pelvic floor, the lower front core. Good. And then we're going to reach over to the right side. So your right arm is going to reach out. I can't use my left shoulder at the moment, so I'll just demonstrate as I can. And right hand down onto the right leg. Good. And you'll be able to take your left arm straight up to the ceiling, unless, like me, you have an injury. Okay. Now we've reached, and we want to really bring the focus to the core body. So you want to feel the action of the pelvic floor. So that's lifting. And we'll roll back the left hip, lengthening the side waist. And see how you go lifting your right hand off your right leg. And if it feels okay, you can even bring it by the right ear. And your left arm can go by your left ear. So I can half demonstrate that. Good, but we want to roll back the left ribs. Good. And then lift up, both arms lift up. Great. And then we'll bring the hands in front of the heart. Swap the feet to the second side. Nice straight legs. Feeling the alignment in your feet, the understanding in your feet. Good. Strong legs lifting. All right. Arms are out from your shoulders. We're going to reach out with the left arm and take that down onto the left leg. But roll back the right hip, the right rib, the right shoulder, right arm straight up. Good. Keep lengthening the sides of the waist and feel the action of the pelvic floor here, lifting, supporting where the spine is. There's a lot of leverage in the weight of the torso. And so the side core of the body is working hard to hold. And we make it work even harder if we take that pressure out of the left hand. So see if you can just lift it off your leg for a second. And if you have support, that feeling of support, take your left arm out by your left ear and your right arm by your right ear. And then inhale. And coming up to center. Nice. And then jump or stamp or tiptoe your feet back to Tadasana. Feeling that nice understanding in your feet. And the work of the core body. You might be able to feel the whole core lifting and supporting now. Feeling strong in your mountain pose. Enjoying the balance of your spine and the relaxed shoulders. Satisfying breath. Great. Let's use that aware core for Virabhadrasana 2. So you're going to jump your feet apart a little bit wider distance. And right foot out, 90 degrees. Left toes in a little. And this time bending your right knee. Now you bend as deeply as feels nourishing for your body. So it might be a little way, depends on your knees, depends on your hips. But we're heading towards bringing the femur parallel to the floor. And the deeper we bend down, the more that lift has to happen to lift the lower front core, to lift the pelvic floor. Good, we're going to turn the whole torso to look back to the left and raise your arms from your shoulders. And look back over your right fingertips. Feel the lift of the core body. Good. Take your left hand down onto your left leg. Lift your right arm up to the ceiling, up to the sky. Lift the right rib. Dip the hips a little lower if you can and lift the pelvic floor. Good. And then we're going to come up and swap over. So the feet are facing in the opposite direction. So left foot out, parallel to the long edges of your mat. Left heel lines up with the center of the right foot in the arch. Toes, right toes are towards center a little. Bend your left knee. And you just go as little or as a lot as your body feels is right. And we're heading towards bringing that femur parallel to the floor. The bent knee, left knee goes towards the little toe side of that foot. The right hip rolls back, and we're going to turn the torso to look back over the right shoulder. And that is to get the ribs to move in that direction. Lift your arms from your shoulders and then turn just your neck, your head, to look left. Feel that big lift for the core body. Dipping as deeply as your legs allow. Then take your right hand down onto your right leg. Lift the left arm up. Really reach it up to the sky. Feel the lift of the pelvic floor as though the reach of the fingertips were lifting. Breathing deeply. Beautiful. And then coming up. Oh, my shoulder. Turn the feet to the front. Jump or stamp your feet back to Tadasana. Feel your feet and their understanding. The lift in the front body. The lengthening of the back body. Upper arms roll out, palms in, even reach through every finger. And the body feels alive with this knowledge, the knowledge of the core support, strong legs, the feet knowing what they're doing, and the top of the head reaching up. Beautiful. We're going to take a forward bend now. So I'll just turn sideways so you can see. Oh, let's take the arms up and we're going to hold the elbows. Take your elbows back as far as your shoulders allow. Good. And then make a back bend shape as you start to reach your torso forward. Imagine a helper was just gently drawing your elbows out further and further in front. So the sides of the waist are lengthening. And letting the weight of your elbows and your head reach the spine further forward or starting to head down towards the floor as the back of the legs start to stretch here. Great. Now, with your elbows, you're going to draw a little circle. So wherever you've reached to, and when the elbows start to draw that circle, the whole spine is going to follow. And you might feel that the core of your body has to support for the lift, for the stabilizing of the spine. Oh, nice. And then the other direction. Beautiful. Back to center. And then we're going to roll up. You can release your arms. Let's take some shoulder rolls. Okay, now we're going to do that again, but we're going to head to each side with our elbows. So elbows up, take hold, reach the elbows back as far as your body allows. Good. Make a back bend shape, bend your knees and take the torso forward. So we keep the bones of the spine forward. Finding your forward bend, wherever that is that you reach to. Turn your torso over to the left, so in the direction of your left leg, but don't bend the right leg and swing the right hip forward. So keep the hips where they are in space. So if you reach a bit more with your right elbow, you'll feel that right waist lengthening. Good. And then we're going to try and just describe a little circle with the elbows again in the air there and feel the whole spine follow. And the core body has to support here, supporting the spine. Good. Keep the neck nice and relaxed, front and back, even length, side to side, even length. And the other direction, but you're still facing to the left. Just take the circle the other way. Okay, and then swinging your torso back to center. And then we go swinging the torso over to the right side without bending the left knee, without bringing the left hip forward. So keep the left hip back. Good, and then drawing little circles with your elbows. Letting the spine follow. Oh, this is hard work. Good, make sure you're stabilizing, so lifting the front core. Feeling that internal support. Stay facing right, but take the circles in the opposite direction. Oh, that is hard work. Come back to center. Good, give your legs a nice big stretch, and we're going to roll up. Take your arms all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana. And then Tadasana, mountain pose. We're going to reach the arms down the back of the legs now and make a back bend shape. In your back bend shape, lift the front of the legs powerfully so you can feel the support. And feel your heart shining upward. And then come into your forward bend. And you can support your forward bend wherever you need to with your hands on your legs or on the floor. But let's see if we can feel the back bend shape in the spine. Even though we're bending forward. So your feet are hip width and parallel. Good. Bend the knees and look forward. Good. So sit your sit bones back towards your heel. You're going to hold your legs in that position. Really lift powerfully in the pelvic floor. And we're going to lift the torso. So the knees stay bent. Lift the torso for Utkatasana, powerful pose. Bring your arms up by your ears. And then all the way up to standing. Nice work. All right. We are going to try and kneel down from here. And you can use your hands, of course. And you'll be in a kneeling position with your toes tucked under. Good. If it's too strong to sit your bottom back onto your heels, you're going to put your hands down on the floor in front so that you get that nice toe stretch. Okay, and then the movement of moving from here into a squatting position, and that means you're going to have to lift your knees. Now, you might not be able to lift your knees and roll back into the squat, but if you can do so. If you're just in the beginning of this sequence, you need to work there, just try lifting your knees up and down off the floor gently. Good. If you're going back into your squat, you can practice to the squatting and the kneeling, trying not to thump the knees down and use your hands as needed. Good. So we're getting used to the foot movement here, the flexibility required, the core awareness required. Your mat and stretch your legs out in front. We're going to have the blanket under the hip. We're going to take the legs out wide. So heels at your widest setting and hands behind you to support the feeling of the spine pressing forward, or to find your back bend shape. Okay. In the back bend shape, we hope that we have a sense of being on the front of the sit bone. So the pelvis starts to tip forward. So if you roll back towards the tailbone and make a hunchback shape, see how the weight is to the back of the sit bones, or maybe not even on the sit bone. So rolling the pelvis forward, making your back bend shape, weight on the front of the sit bones. Good, and just make the hunchback shape the opposite again. So understand that you've got room to move. Rolling the pelvis forward onto the front of the sit bones. So that's where we want the pelvis to be. Great. We are going to, let's see, bring the torso as far forward as your movement allows. So that might be the upright position. You're on the front of the sit bones. Maybe you can bring your hands in front and you can take the torso further forward. And just finding what resists. Is it your back? Is it your leg? Taking some nice deep breath while you explore what is resistant in your body. Okay, and then we're going to work on this one side at a time. So where you've got to in your forward movement, take your torso now towards your left leg. So keep your forward movement, but also add in reaching to the left. And we're going to particularly try and reach with the right arm towards the little toe side of that foot or the little toe side of the leg. And the more you reach with the right hand, the right arm, the more you will feel the right lower back start to stretch. That's what we're looking for. It may be that the tightness in the legs is the most obvious resistance. And if that's the case, then that's fine. That's where you're up to, where you're at. So noticing where you're at. And wherever that is, we can be so grateful for our movement. Now, we're going to keep that forward movement, but we're going to walk the hands back so that your torso is centered again. And just take notice. Maybe it feels a little easier, possibly not. But let's do the other side. So we're going to keep the forward movement, turn your torso to the right side. Good. And particularly reach with your right hand to the outside of your left leg. Even reaching it, did I say right hand? Left hand towards the outside of your right leg. And then you can take the left hand, even further towards the little toe, wherever it feels good for you to reach, so that you start to stretch left ribs, left waist. Paying attention to where you are at. Paying attention to your breath. And then we want to keep that forward movement and bring the torso back to center, trying to be on the front of the sit bone, trying to feel that back bend shape in your spine, bones of the spine forward. Very nice. And then we're going to release. Great. Bring the legs in, and we're going to put both legs over towards the right side for Bharadvajasana. So classically, if you can, you put your top of the left foot into the sole of the right foot. Now, if this doesn't work for knees, you can make a mermaid tail and just lean back on your left hand. Will work. Okay. If you've got your legs tucked in, it helps to bring your blanket so it's just under the left sit bone. So if your feet are right, blanket is under the left sit bone. We're going to turn to the left and lean back. Lean back on your left hand. When you lean back, you're going to find you can really twist in the abdomen. You can twist and move the skin of the belly button. It's a really nice feeling for those internal muscles that we've been using in the core body, and we're going to stretch them now. to see if you can get that feeling of stretching right inside the abdomen. Ooh. Looking back over your left shoulder. And then we're going to lift up the torso. Keep your turn, your stretch. So your torso is perpendicular to the floor. And then keep turning. We're going to turn the ribs now. So we've turned the abdomen, now we're turning the ribs. And we're going to follow the breath and find a whole world of potential. And then releasing. I really love that pose. And then we're going to swap the feet over to the other side. So with the feet on the left, that is the top of the right foot in the sole of the left foot, or put your legs out so your knees are comfortable. And the blanket goes under the right sit bone. We're going to turn to the right, lean back, and be on the right hand. The further you lean back, the more you're going to find you've got access to turn the belly. And we really want to find that nice big movement for the internal muscles of the abdomen. So if you think about the way your muscles attach to your bone, you've got muscles attaching to your spine and you've got muscles attaching to your pelvis, both on the inside and the outside edge of the pelvis. All right, so when you've found that twist for your belly, let's lift up and turn the ribs now to the right side. Whoa, and exploring your potential. Following the breath. And then releasing. Great work. We're going to lay down now for a little baby bridge sequence. So feet are going to be on the floor, hip width and parallel. Arms by your sides, palms down. Explore lifting and lowering your spine. Take it as slow as feels good and look for every single joint to move. Beautiful. And then left heel onto the right knee and through the whole pose. Keep this posture with the right foot on the floor and you can relax your arm. and through the whole pose on the other side with the right heel on the left knee. You might be leaving your left foot on the floor. You might be picking the left foot up off the floor and taking hold of your clothing, or you're holding your left knee. But make sure your shoulders are relaxed back onto the floor. Enjoying each breath. So the intention here is for the left knee to move towards the left shoulder, the right knee away from the right shoulder. Exploring your spaciousness. Good. And then we're going to release that side and a little inversion. Bamboo pose. Put the blanket under your hip, and I find it most useful closer to the tailbone. So when I put my legs up, my lower back flattens to the floor and the tailbone's lifted and the legs just seem to balance then. If you can't get that feeling for your back where your core is relaxed, don't do legs up. Just put your feet on the floor with that little bit of support under you. So we want to relax the core body now. And in bamboo pose, see how your arms feel, see what you need for your upper body. You might do your arms into cactus position. Feeling the flow of each breath. All the way in and all the way out. Gently lowering your legs now. And taking the support out from underneath your hip. You might need to put it back under your thighs. We're going to lay out straight for Shavasana now. You need to finish your practice. Namaste to you. Thank you for joining. If you're able to stay for Shavasana, then lay your legs out to straight. Take any support that you might need. We're going to do a little pranayama sequence before we do our shavasana. And that is just to bring your focus to your breathing. Noticing that there is an in-breath and an out-breath. And less discernible is the moment where the breath changes direction. We're going to add some time into that moment. So if you give yourself a count of how long it takes to breathe in and how long it takes to breathe out. I'll just use an example of 3. Then when you breathe in, you're going to breathe in for 3. You're going to hold for 3. And then you're going to breathe out for 3 and hold for 3. Breathe in for 3. Hold for 3. And then breathe out for 3. Hold for 3. And you're going to continue breathing like that. Maybe you want to extend it or make it a bit shorter. Noticing the 4 distinct parts to the breath. And then we're going to let the breath return to its natural rhythm. And feeling that natural rhythm in the toes and the soles of the feet and the ankle. In your lower legs and your knees and your thighs and your hips. And your buttock, belly, pelvic floor, around the sacrum, in your lower back, and your middle back, between the shoulder blades and the rib cage, around the breastbone, shoulders, armpits, upper arm, elbows, forearms, wrists and palms, thumbs, fingers. In the back of your neck and your throat, the base of your skull and your scalp. All the muscles of facial expression. Your lips and tongue and jaw and ears. Feel the flow of breath in your whole body, holding your whole body in the focus of your awareness. Breath by breath. Hmm. Feel the breath in your body as you start to gently wiggle your fingers and your toes. Feeling movement returning to your stillness. Notice what it feels like to bend in your arms and your legs. To roll over to your right side. You can even just lay there as though you didn't really have to get up. Noticing how you feel. And when you're ready, come up and have a seat. Bring your hands together over your heart. And take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.